Let me be blunt. If you're over 50 and you still believe that everything will work out if I just don't mess up, you're lying to yourself, and it's a dangerous lie. I've spent my entire life watching markets, cycles, bubbles, crashes, and people. And I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Hope is not a strategy. Comfort is not protection. And time does not forgive bad assumptions. If this makes you uncomfortable, good, because discomfort is cheaper than regret. Here's what I see over and over again. People will reach their 50 seconds and 60 seconds, and they start shrinking their world. They stop making decisions. They stop re-examining their assumptions. They cling to what feels safe, not because it is safe, but because changing feels scary. They tell themselves things like, I'll just ride this out. I don't want to risk what I already have. I'll deal with it later. But later is exactly when the bill comes due. Inflation, bad markets, poor allocation, false confidence, these things don't announce themselves politely. They arrive when you're least able to recover. And the tragedy is this. Most people don't lose their financial future because they took one big risk. They lose it because they misunderstood risk entirely. I've been investing for over 5 decades. I've lived through booms that felt permanent and crashes that felt like the end of the world. By the end of this video, I want you to understand one simple truth that took me years to fully appreciate. Risk is not what you think it is. And if you're over 50, understanding that difference may be the most important financial lesson you have left to learn. When things are going well, people stop asking hard questions. They assume recent experience equals future safety. I've seen this in every cycle. Good returns lull people into believing the world has changed. They stop worrying about downside. They stop demanding a margin of safety. In my career, the most dangerous moments weren't during crashes. They were right before them, when optimism was high and caution felt unnecessary. This one trips up almost everyone. People hate volatility. They see prices moving and they panic. But volatility is noise. It's uncomfortable, not fatal. Real risk is permanent loss. Real risk is being forced to sell at the wrong time. Real risk is needing money when markets are down and options are limited. I've always focused less on what might fluctuate and more on what could break. This may sound obvious, but most people don't live by it. They chase returns as if the goal is to win the game. It isn't. The goal is to stay in the game. I've said this for years, like, you don't have to make money back the way you lost it. But if you lose too much, you may not get another chance. Especially after 50, your greatest asset is not upside, it's staying power. One of the hardest lessons I learned was that doing nothing intelligently is often the right move. People feel the need to act. They think activity equals progress. In reality, unnecessary action is one of the biggest sources of error. Some of my best decisions were decisions not to reach, not to chase, not to follow the crowd. Let me clear up a few things you've probably been told. Myth: if I avoid risk, I'll be safe. That's wrong. Avoiding visible risk often increases hidden risk like inflation, concentration, or missed opportunities to rebalance. Myth #2: I'm too old to adjust now. Wrong again. Refusing to adjust is far more dangerous than adjusting carefully. Myth #3: markets always come back. Markets may recover. You might not have the time, liquidity, or emotional tolerance to wait. Let me leave you with this. The most dangerous lie after 50 is believing that the future will be kind just because the past was. Markets don't care about your age, your effort, or your intentions. But thoughtful preparation still matters, discipline still matters, and avoiding catastrophic mistakes matters more than ever.